Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Vinny from Suds in the Squared Circle. Yes, today is Monday, November 6th, 2023. Here is your daily update. I know I didn't do them over the past number of days. I did one Wednesday when I was heading down to Zanesville, Ohio. I did my live from Hershey, Pennsylvania, while I was driving, when I took a stop in my drive. I was going to post live videos and do daily updates while I was there, but I decided not to. Reason being is that I was there for a specific reason, and that was to consult on for my previous management company that I worked for with the Holiday Inn. I guess I'm back now. But yeah, I was there for a specific reason, and honestly, I felt like I should give that reason my all. Checking out the area of Zanesville, checking out the hotel itself, and putting that fully ahead. Because that's how I am. I feel like I have to give my all. Even though I'm trying to build this brand, Suds Media, Suds in the Squared Circle, which I think I might start rebranding everything to Suds Media, because I am going to be starting a cooking show. Not live, but it will be on YouTube. And I love to cook. Cooking is one of my passions. I'm not going to get into the restaurant industry. I'm not going to get into any kind of, catering or anything, because, quite honestly, the hours suck. And if I thought I was, being pulled in multiple different directions at a hotel in hotel management, then I just... I don't know if I'd necessarily survive culinarily and that kind of, but I do love to cook. So, and I made the decision I'm going to be doing something different. So there's a couple of things going. So I might start, instead of having everything as Suds in the Squared Circle, the website is going to say sudsandsquaredcircle.com for the time being. I'm not going to rebrand that yet because I really can't afford to pay for the new domain. And honestly, we're going to keep sudsandsquaredcircle.com for right now. But I am going to, over the next few months, I'm probably going to start rebranding to Suds Media. But for right now, keep it as Suds in the Squared Circle. But I am going to be starting to do a cooking show. I'm in the process of redoing my kitchen so that it looks a little bit more television friendly. But when that starts, I'll let everybody know. It'll be uploaded to the same YouTube platform that I currently have. However, what I do need to talk about, I did watch all of GH last week. I did watch all of Days last week. And I believe tonight... Is it tonight? No. I'm sorry. It's next week. Because last week we did the Take Two Radio soaps in review. Take Two Radio soaps in review show. I'm officially one of the co-hosts. So next week, that'll be live at 7 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Tonight at either 9:30 or 10, we will go live at one of those times, either 9:30 or 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Our Suds News, me and Christy will be going live. Christy had a great event that I'll have her tell you about over the weekend while I was over in Zanesville, Ohio. However, with that said, one thing I do want to bring up, I just saw this... I just saw this message on Instagram, and forgive me, I do have to see between Ric Flair and Paul Heyman over Paul Heyman's comments about Bobby Heenan when he and Roman Reigns were on the Stephen A. Smith show. During the episode, Stephen A. Smith asked Paul Heyman about Bobby Heenan, and if he thought he was the greatest manager of all time. And Paul Heyman said, "Screw Bobby Heenan. He's dead. Jimmy Hart's not dead, so that, and that hasn't answered my question, means God hasn't answered my question yet, so, or answered my prayers yet, or whatever the case is." Paul Heyman said that he apparently Ric Flair took offense to that, saying Bobby Heenan was the greatest manager of all time, and even Jim Cornette, to his credit, said that everybody's second best compared to Bobby Heenan. Paul Heyman on live TV said, "Screw Bobby Heenan, he's dead. Nobody cares about him." And yes, that was to get heat. Bobby, in my opinion, Bobby Heenan would have loved that and wouldn't have had a problem with Paul Heyman saying, and using his name to get over and get heat. So I think Ric Flair's kind of taken it a little much lately, but I also feel like Ric Flair's been a little bit too, sensitive in his older age. But he's also been a very emotional person anyways. And not to mention, he just signed with AEW because he needed the money. And they took on Ric Flair's energy drink as their official energy drink. So I don't... listen, I did defend Ric Flair when he was under heat for for the plane ride from hell and everything, because that was Ric Flair and it was a different time back then. And no, it doesn't excuse sexual assault or anything, but the stewardess, the flight attendant that was on the plane, also was not a credible witness and a credible person to interview. The guy at the Dark Side of the Reach should have checked her background before even including that in the episode, but I digress. The thing is I'm going to defend Paul Heyman here. Paul Heyman is currently on the active WWE roster as a manager. Well, the wise man, the chief counsel, special counsel to the tribal chief. Ric Flair's now active on the AEW roster as who knows what, hopefully not a wrestler. And if Tony Khan was smart, he would not let Ric Flair in the ring as an active competitor. Put him as Sting's manager. Put him as a manager against Sting. Have Ric Flair be the poison behind Darby Allin turning on Sting. But I don't want Ric Flair to wrestle ever again. Apparently, the doctors have cleared Flair for bumps and he wants to go through a table. Like, I get it, when you're passionate about a specific job or career, that, you'll do it for anything and you don't never want to give it up. But sometimes you just gotta listen to your family and friends, and I guarantee you somebody will tell Ric Flair you're done, right? But I don't know. I'm not there, but that would be my advice to Flair. But I will say, Paul Heyman said what he said, and I guarantee you, in his heart of hearts, he doesn't actually, he actually does consider Bobby Heenan as probably the greatest of all time or the best manager ever. I get that, because even Jim Cornette said the same thing. But I wouldn't get too emotionally charged over that statement. But the fact that Flair did, that means Paul Heyman was doing his job. So if you could work Ric Flair, the greatest of all time in the wrestling industry, then Paul Heyman did his job correctly. Anyways, tonight, Suds News is live on YouTube, www.youtube.com/@Suds_Circle. So go ahead, tune in, pay attention to X @SudsSQCirclePod for the updates of how when we're going to be going live. It'll be either 9:30 or 10 p.m. Eastern time. And remember, we did set the clock back yesterday, at 3 o'clock in the morning, so we gained an hour's sleep, so that does add to the time differential. Now we're on standard time, which makes no sense. If we're trying to keep daylight, why wouldn't this be considered daylight savings time? You got me. But whatever, it is what it is. Folks, stay tuned to Suds_Circle for all your breaking news and wrestling and soap opera. And stay tuned for my new cooking show that'll be starting within the next month or so as I get things ready, camera ready in my kitchen. Have a great day, everybody.